Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. The goal of this channel is to get you in that 10% club because 90% of everyone investing in crypto lose money, and we want to change that. And it's videos like this that give you the alpha you need to make informed decisions. I hate misinformation when it comes to my money. So I stand on every bit of data and information I send to you guys. And if anyone ever corrects me with facts, I'll make a video. Very rarely, if ever, happens. Now, that being said, I can't be more bullish for this bull run. I truly believe we have an immense opportunity for, say, the next 5 to 9 months. And if you have a good strategy and have stacked a good portfolio, you should do well. Now, if you don't, you need some help. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. But in this video, we're going to talk about the so-called banking reset. That narrative is about to catch fire. I wasn't planning on making this video this morning, but when I went on X, ISO20022 was trending. And you got all those XRP, ISO type influencers that love to just make up narratives and spread the word like smoke and all those crazy guys. I've never seen so much misinformation ever. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. Once you go down the rabbit hole and you really understand this stuff, I mean, I got a financial background. I used to work on Wall Street. And if you understand ISO, you'll laugh at the stupidity of what you're going to hear about this banking reset. But I don't care, guys. It's all about hype. And trust me when I tell you, the XRP Army, the XRP influencers, the XLM influencers, all the ones that love to talk about Algorand and IOTA and HBAR, man, it's going to get hyped up. So we're going to capitalize on that. That's what we're talking about in this video. And we're going to look at 3 different charts. I'll tell you the 3 projects I'm going to implement in my strategy. And hey guys, again, it's your money. I don't care what you do with it. I just want to give you the real information that you need to make informed decisions. And then I'll tell you what I'm doing. So that's it. All right, let's dive into it. Did I say hit that like button? Hit the like button. All right, guys. We have 2 times for the remainder of this year that this narrative is going to start to get hyped up. On July the 14th is the deadline for FEDNOW, right? The FEDwire funds, their new service. So between now and then, if one of the 3 tokens we talk about pull back hard, I'm going to stack those. Now, we'll talk about the strategy at the end, but in the beginning right now, I want to give you just a brief overview of the reality of what you're dealing with, because if you don't understand it, you're not going to have the conviction and you'll believe all this stupid hype, and you might not take the profits when they come to you. And I find it hard to believe they're not going to come. So we have that scenario, and then in November is the deadline for all the ISO 20022 compliant tokens. Now, before we get into the overview, you know, one thing that I see in crypto is people don't do any research of who the dominant players are. They don't research the roadmaps of the banks or of Wall Street. See, I start there, right? I zoom out and go, well, who's dominating global payments right now? Who has all the customers for real world assets when they tokenize them? And that leads you to the big players like FIS Global, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Swift, Visa. So what are they doing? You start there. And see, most people think that ISO 20022 compliant tokens is important. Guys, it's like getting a real estate license. But in crypto, they're like, oh, you got a real estate license. You're going to overthrow Remax. What? You'll be lucky to sell a house. You might get your share and be successful, but you're down here. Remax is not going to be taken over by some new chain that some guy got his real estate license. Not going to happen. All right. Now, if you go through, if you want to do your own deep dives, I highly recommend it. Then you can laugh at all these influencers. But go to FRBservices.org, surf around. You're not going to see a thing about any of the altcoins. Not a one's mentioned. All right. Look at this, guys. The whole world is getting ISO20022 certified. The customers, the clients of Swift, the people that use it every day, that dominate everything, they're not going anywhere. They don't need any help. If all the ISO tokens, so-called ISO tokens, if they disappeared tomorrow, so what? The banking reset's still going to happen. They're still going to be as big or bigger. They're just going to make more money and dominate even more. But look at this, guys. Most people don't even know who FIS Global. Look at that. Unlocking opportunities with ISO 2022 adoption. Guys, FIS Global is probably going to dominate FEDwire. They move more money and do more transactions literally in a day than, for instance, XRP has done in 14 years. They have all the customers. They're certified. They have a roadmap. They have cross-border payments. They have liquidity pools. All that. People have no idea who they are. JP Morgan, look at that. JP Morgan to launch instant blockchain FX settlement. Look at this. JP Morgan, ISO 20022 migration, guidance, messaging. And if you zoom in or go on down, they talk about, actually it's right here, they talk about JP Morgan has been an early adopter of ISO 20022, supporting both sending and receiving native ISO payment messages through Swift. Guys, they're probably the number one bank and the number one entity that is working and pioneering this new banking system. It's hilarious. They do more, again, they move more money, do more transactions in a day than Ripple and XRP have done since existence. Think about that. And they have the roadmap, the tech, the money, the partnership. Once they get the regulation, it's done. They will be the dominant player. So, that being said, if you're still here, let's talk reality. You're going to see the Jack Richter and Smoke Dog and Hulk, Crypto Hulk, and all these crazy, black swan capitalists, these guys that tell you $10,000 XRP and all the money, all the idiots in crypto, in my opinion. I say that with love, but guys, they lie, right? They look they look at their camera and they lie to you every day, and you just keep eating all that stuff. They don't tell you about tokenomics. They can't explain to you how $10,000 XRP will make you bigger than Swift, bigger than JP Morgan, bigger than Apple, bigger than Google, bigger than BlackRock combined. Think about that, guys. It's hilarious. But anyway, so that being said, when the Dino tokens took off in November, I went short. Now I'm going to get into my strategy. But one thing that I did underestimate was the XRP Army and their influence and the lies. Guys, they started coming out with lies like BlackRock's going to buy $9 trillion of XRP. JP Morgan partnered and is buying XRP. Just pure lies. I've never seen anything like it. It's going to happen again, probably twice this year. It's all good. I'm here for the money. I don't care about any of these tokens. Literally, I could care less. I will not own an altcoin after this bull run is over. I won't sell my XRP, and I plan to implement my strategy to short aggressively when it's all said and done. And that's where the money is. All right. So let's talk about Stellar, Chainlink, and XRP. All right. Here's my strategy. Any of these three tokens that pull back in the next, 2.5 months for the deadline with FEDwire, with FEDNOW, right? I'm probably going to stack and do a swing trade. Now, a lot of people say, well, how high do you think they can go? That's not how it works, guys. You get what you get. So let's just say hypothetically, I buy all three of them. I'm not going to buy leverage. I'm going to just buy them. And my strategy is, and I've got like 3 different strategies, but this is the first simple one that everyone can do. I'm going to stack a little bag. And when the announcement comes out of that deadline, I'm out. And not only am I going to be out, so every bit of it, no ifs and buts about it. If it doubles my money, if it triples my money, whatever it does, when it's peaking, I'm going to watch the volume. When that volume slows down, I'm just going to be out, right? And then I am going to short the crap out of it, just like I did the Dino tokens in November, December, January. I made a killing shorting all the Dino tokens because, guys, they can't hold a pump. They're not going to hold a pump. Every one of them fell over 50%, up to 80%. What if you'd have took some profits? So, guys, literally, I say all this with love. I just tell you what works in reality. I don't care what you do. You want to hodl and miss all this stuff? Think about it. The odds are, if you watching this, you bought the Dino tokens. Did you even take any profits? Did you watch XLM do a 6x and go all the way back down and lose 4x out of the 6? XRP got cut in half your profits. You just watched them go down. Algorand, IOTA, they all just dumped. HBAR. You don't want to do that, guys. So anyway, that's one strategy. Now the same strategy after that will be the ISO November deadline. And that's when the craziness is probably going to happen. So if you take profits from the FEDNOW and got some dry powder, we can stack and do it again. And believe me, that is going to be hyped up craziness. It's going to be laughable. And I'll keep making these type videos to tell you my strategy. I'll be posting in my inner circle. But let's say now we're getting toward November. I will be in. I may like two weeks before if it starts getting crazy, because the prices will already be pumping probably. I'll go in on leverage. And then when that deadline hits and people realize that nothing happened, that XRP, XLM, HBAR, none of them are relevant. Now, bear with me, guys. Just bear with me because I need to throw this in. A lot of people don't understand what ISO is. But ISO is just a messaging system that goes with what they're doing right now. Every bank on Wall Street, half of Wall Street, if you deal with payments in the banks, they're all certified. It's just a real estate license. And as far as the ISO tokens, guys, it's SWIFT. Look at SWIFT like New York City. Look at FedNow like LA. They're hubs. They're big cities. And if you want to make a toll bridge to New York City or to LA, you got to have a certification. You got to apply for the permit. So at best, any of these so-called ISO tokens, which is irrelevant, it's not even a thing, just a certification that all of Wall Street has and all the banking, they already have it. They'll get their share, but they're not going to be relevant. It's a fact. XRP, XLM, Algorand, none of them are going to be relevant in banking, guys, or with payments. And you go, well, they got 400 banks. JP Morgan owns 4,000 banks. All right, let's get back to the strategy. So we do that again. So we've got stack now, dump on the news when FEDwire goes live and the hype's dead, when they make that announcement. Then we'll do it again. Now, some people can just wait for the whole time, but why would you want to tie up all that money? Put that money to work and then go short. And if you don't know how to short, guys, I got a great coaching course we'll talk about in a minute. All right, let's talk about the three tokens. I know I'm rambling a little bit. All right, here's the thing. XLM basically did about the same thing as XRP did from the bottom to the pump in like November. So right now it's really close. XRP's higher. So there might be and they're all going to pump together. XLM might have a little bit bigger upside, but with XRP, you never know. But, I don't have a lot of, any project that hasn't hit a new all-time high in 8 years. I don't have a lot of conviction to hold any of these. But XLM may have a little bit better. Now, if you look at XRP, if you're buying at $2, which I just did a short video, which we nailed already, but at best, guys, double, triple your money at best. But when I look at Link, I think that's your biggest upside. If we can buy Link, let's say 10, 12 bucks, even if you bought it right here and it takes out its all-time high, which is a very good chance, you're looking at about a 4x without doing anything exception. So if they all do about the same upside toward their all-time highs, Link's the one that's going to make the most money. Now, that being said, guys, this isn't debatable. ISO and Swift and JP Morgan and Wall Street and the banks, they're already doing what they call atomic settlement. Swift is what they call agnostic to the DLTs. See, they're not going to be using the tokens, they're going to be using the ledgers. And they may get to the point where they're using security tokens and moving like real world asset tokens and things like that, but they're using atomic settlement. And here's how it works. You got smart contracts. And see, for the people that are so crazy to tell you, oh, all the money's going to run on XRP. XRP doesn't have smart contracts, and it's way too complex. The future, no matter what, is atomic settlement and smart contracts for money. If you want to buy a house, you tokenize the deed in a smart contract. You tokenize the payment in a smart contract. They both have directions. They'll go over an agnostic, if they go through Swift, DLT. It doesn't matter which ledger it is. And the best ledgers on the planet that's doing the most business is like RWR, R3, and Hyperledger. There's no token involved in any of them. So anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked, but guys, once you understand the future and how all this works, you wouldn't even remotely consider holding these projects. So let's recap. The way I'm going to make money is I'm going to buy XRP on pullbacks, XLM, and Chainlink. I may just do one. I haven't decided yet. But they're long swing trades. And guys, do not put on these trades and back out. Right? If I put on those trades, let's say next week, I stack a bag of all three of those. I'm going to wait till the FEDNOW announcement is done. And if it does bad, right, and we don't get the hype from all the ISO influencers that are going to hype this crazy stuff up. If we don't really get anything, probably still just going to cut my losses. But no matter what, I'm out. And then I'm going to do it again because the ISO so-called banking reset is a joke, but it's going to be a crazy joke. And the joke's going to be on the people that are hodling and think that the XRP, XLM, and HBAR and all are going to be relevant. Link is relevant. Be very clear, Link is the only token that is relevant with ISO, but it's not even enough to move the needle for Link as far as the importance. and it's probably going to disappear over the years as the technology gets there. Like Quant, irrelevant. It's already not the dominant player with other projects that are not uh, there's no token. Now, HBAR, with its consensus mechanism, it might be used, but it's not going to be the move the needle. And what that consensus mechanism is for, when you use atomic settlement and you tokenize both things, HBAR's mechanism goes through there and scans it and goes, yes, this is what it says. This is what it says. We trust it. Boom, it's done. So anyway, don't forget who's short, guys. That's where the money is. Because I'm telling you, write it down. This will age well, especially that when the ISO tokens hit, right? When we have that announcement, ISO is done. If you're not in, you're not out. And then you're going to realize, wait a minute. The banks like JP Morgan they have instant settlement. They're doing cross-border payments. They have liquidity pools. What? Why aren't they using XRP? Why aren't they using HBAR? Because it's irrelevant. They don't need it. And they have all the customers, guys. They're not going to share unless they have to. They may use some of these weird corridors and use, the XRP or use Ripple system, which again, they don't have to buy XRP. They'll just pay to use Ripple. Ripple basically uses their supply. It's not bullish. And I don't mean to harp on it, guys. I'm here to make money. I don't care what you do. But this strategy will work. Now, if you need some help getting a strategy or understanding your what to put in your portfolio, or need someone to look at your portfolio and how to understand tokenomics, how to compare these projects, whatever, I've got a 3 Zoom call coaching. I have the same type of coaching for your portfolio that is a course. It's got 18 videos. It walks you through everything you need to do to understand how to build a portfolio and how to get a game plan. And then we have a Zoom call at the end. And I think, literally the best shorting program ever created. And I'm adding to it constantly. It's like 13 videos now. And when some of my clients have questions and it seems to be a pattern, I'll implement a video, and those videos will always be free for the people that bought the package. I have an inner circle I'm highly excited about, and I think I can help you. Now, that being said, guys, whether you take me up on any of this or not, do yourself a favor. Start to focus. Stop listening to people that never tell you a downside. There's not a token out there that doesn't have a downside. If you don't understand the risk, and if you haven't done your own homework independent, have you been to JP Morgan's? Have you ever even heard of FIS Global? Unlocking Opportunities. They move like 16 trillion a week. Go read them, and then you'll laugh at the XRP influencers. It's laughable. Go see what JP Morgan's doing, how they're working with Swift hand in hand for years to get ready for now. They're already locked and loaded. They're already making videos for their customers of their instant settlement, of the future of ISO. Guys, they're just implementing it. They've got the customers. Nothing changes. But HBAR, XRP, Algorand, all them, you think they're going to go steal their customers? No. For what? It's crazy world, guys. But there's a huge opportunity. If you need some help, reach out. But if you don't take profits, you will become profits, guys. And the big money's here, Wall Street's here, opportunities here. I can't be more bullish. But for you hodlers, you're going to get wrecked. And if you hodl on misinformation and lack of understanding, man, you don't even have a chance. You're going to be in that 90% club. And again, I want to get you in that 10% club. All right, guys, didn't mean to rant. One day I'm going to figure out how to do this calmly and smoothly and shorter. But take care, guys. Come back and be part of this community. Subscribe.